Over 10 years ago, Minecraft released one of their first structures, the village. And over time it just grew staler and staler, barely getting any updates. Except for one. The abandoned village. Yeah, it's bad. So in an attempt to bring that good old fresh village feeling back, I'm going to be building a village out of every single Minecraft block. Starting with every single type of wood, which sounds more exciting than it is. And it doesn't sound exciting, which really shows how exciting it is. So the way I'm going to get all the different types of wood is by this amazing list that I've made, since I'm a deeply organized person. Whoa. Wrong list. So we have all the different categories of wood types. And each wood type is basically all built up by the same 16 blocks, which means that we basically just have to check off each one, starting with oak. And first up on the oak part of the list is stripped wood. Yeah, now we only have about 752 left to go. But since this category is pretty easy, let's just finish up all the wood. So, stripped oak log, oak wood, oak trapdoor, oak stairs, oak slab, pressure plate, planks, oak log, oak hanging sign, oak door, and the oak button. And now I just gotta repeat that 11 times. Okay, that was fun. But at least we bumped up quite a bit on the list. So this is probably a good time to be mentioning that I'm going to start off with the easier ones and moving on to the harder ones later in the video. Which also means that I'm going to show less time of me actually getting the easy blocks. But with all the different type of woods, we can now start building the first village house, which is going to be wood themed. So let's just head on over to the village and brutally destroy it for our own personal gain. But with this newly fresh plot of land, we can now build the first house. And there we go. Now the next list of blocks following up is every single block that has the word stone in them. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking when I created this list, but there are apparently 77 blocks with the word stone in them. And most of them are kind of boring, like blackstone, endstone, and glowstone. So let's just get all the boring ones out of the way. But then there are other fun blocks, like a gilded blackstone, that can only be found in a bastion, and a lodestone that instead of crafting like a normal person, I have decided to find in a bastion as well, which is probably gonna take a while. Oh, I see a bastion, and there we go, we have the gilded blackstone. Let's now try and find the lodestone. Okay, so nothing in the first chest, or the fifth. Yeah, okay, this might take a little bit longer than I might have anticipated. Oh my god! Oh my god, we finally found the lodestone. So let's just add it into our collection and quickly gather up the last blocks of this category. And with that, we can now move on to the ores. And there's about like 12 ores that I don't already have. So let's quickly go and gather them all up and add the 4 ores that I already had, which now puts us at a solid 270 blocks. And that is pre-copper. Yeah, you heard me right. So Minecraft for some weird reason decided to add 34 different copper blocks. So let's just craft them up. But I'm not done here, no. I gotta oxidize them as well. Which basically just means that the copper is getting old. And that I have to wait for a while. But finally, after way too many hours, I can now craft up all the different copper blocks. And now with all the copper blocks and some other boring filler blocks, we are now at 308 blocks. But we're still not quite done with this category. We still have to make an iron door, iron trap door, and some iron bars. And with that, we are finally done with that category. Now, as you can probably tell, I'm in the nether. That is because I have to get every single nether quartz block. Starting with the nether quartz, or if I can... Yep. Okay, starting with the... Oh my god! Okay. Oh my god. So with the ore and every single quartz block in the game, I went on gathering all the different amethyst crystals and blocks. And all the 182 different colorful blocks, which really wasn't fun. And things are going to start to get a lot harder. Getting blocks that are literally unobtainable. But the next block that I'm going to get is a skull catalyst, which drops my warden after he dies. So I guess I'll just go and fight him. Oh my god! Oh! Yeah, I don't think fighting him is ideal, except if I use the warden's greatest enemy, the iron golem. Okay, hear me out. For some weird reason, the iron golem despises the warden. So, I'm gonna build an iron golem army. So if we quickly just take some iron blocks and pumpkins, and locate a deep dark, we can now build the iron golems, which will theoretically just kill the warden for me. What? Okay, it's game time. Wait, why is it not working? I think this Shrieker is glitched. Well, that was anticlimactic. Okay, so let's quickly go and find a new spot, I guess. Yeah, this looks pretty solid. The only problem is that the Shrieker is kind of stuck in here. But that should probably be fine. So here we go. Attempt 2. Oh my god! Yo! I can't see anything! Why can't I see anything? It's working! Oh, yeah, he's coming for me. Well, that was pretty easy. So we now have the skull catalyst. And I guess while we're here, we might as well just gather the rest of the skull items. And there we go, the skull category is done. But now there's still a ton of stone categories left. So I'm gonna quickly just narrow it down and gather them all up. So andesite, deep slate, granite, diorite, basalt, and brick. Yeah, that took me... Yeah. Okay, let's get some prismarine. But why did the prismarine block go to therapy? Because it was feeling a little shattered by its identity crisis. That right there, that's a funny joke. What's the punchline? I don't know. Thank you very much for that banger, ChatGPT. Well, anyways, let's go and get some prismarine. And now we can use this to craft up dark prismarine and normal prismarine. And that's another 10 blocks. And then I also went on to get all these soul, lush cave, and rail blocks. Then it was time for the random ones that didn't fit into a category. Like for example, a decorated pot, which I also got an achievement for doing. And I'm pretty sure that I've literally unlocked every single recipe in Minecraft at this point. Oh, and yeah, let's not forget the anvil, the other anvil, and the other anvil. But before we can continue building the village houses, there is still a few blocks I want to gather. And I'm also going to be building one of the village houses out of Minecraft's most rare and illegal blocks. But before we can do that, we quickly just have to finish up the last non-illegal category, which is the shulker box. Boxes. We need one out of every single color. This is going to take for... That did indeed take me way too long. So we now have all these shulkers. So after giving each and one of the shulkers some color, I also went ahead and got the 4 purple blocks that I didn't have from earlier. Which now puts us at a solid 691 out of 752 blocks. And also makes us available to finally expand our village empire. Yeah, I'm never saying that again. So let's build some houses. Now we just have to add one last house, a filler's house. Using the blocks, it doesn't really fit into houses like banners, railroads, and pressure plates. Yeah, but this is actually starting to look pretty sick. And with me slowly losing my mind, it's time to finally build the last village structure. Wait, why exactly am I walking around with a Majgo on my head again? Ah! The last village structure, which is also going to be made out of Minecraft's most rare and illegal blocks. And since I'm going to be placing the blocks as we get them, we quickly just have to place down the ones we already have. So, Crying Obsidian, Soul Lantern, Shrieker, Redstone Comparator, Redstone Repeater, Amethyst Block, and a Brewing Stand. Yeah, and this, it's starting to look really good. Moving swiftly on, I want to gather all of the 3 blocks of raw ores. So first up is the block of raw copper, which is really easy to get. But then I have to find a block of raw iron, which only spawns below Y-0. So let's head over to my dragon's den. And yeah, don't ask any questions. Ooh, there we go. Now for the block of raw gold. Yeah, that's the only way to get it. You have to craft it. But before we go ahead and place these down, I quickly just want to get the 3 different froglight variations. So I did what I do best. I spent 6 hours building and designing a farm. For them. For frog! Anyways, so now we need about 3 of every types of frog. So, I should probably look away. Then we kidnapped them and locked them in a room for the rest of eternity. But a love story is a love story. There we go. Okay, let's just go and place them and a few other fillers down. It's actually starting to look pretty decent. Now before we finally start gathering the unobtainable blocks, I just want to mention that to be able to make this village as illegal as possible, I'm going to be placing 1 diamond block for every subscriber I get out of this video. So if you want to see me suffering, make sure to subscribe, and I'll be placing all of these live on stream. But after placing 1150 diamond blocks, I'm finally done. For now at least. Sorete hagudu yonishimasu. I mean, please make sure to subscribe. Okay, to get to the first patch of unobtainable blocks, we first have to downgrade myself to the 1 block at a time April Fool's update. I didn't mean it literally. Anyways, so yeah, I have 2 hands. Makes sense. Now I have to get to the end, but I don't have an inventory. But I can pick up cows, pigs, and children. I can even stack them on top of each other and throw them. But if I pick up a chicken, I can actually fly. So to get to the end, we first have to find a ruined portal. Yes, there we go. So I now gotta replace the obsidian in the right spot using my hand. That took forever. And I gotta do it 2 more times. Oh my god. Finally! Oh, no, no! Okay, let's just light it up and chuck a chicken into it. So to now be able to create an ender portal, we have to locate a nether fortress. And then open one of these chests. Because for some weird reason, these chests holds the only way to the end. But we need 12 of them. But since the majority of these frames aren't in the right direction, I have to replace them. No, 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 no. Yes, finally. Now I just have to repeat that way too many times. Okay, let's just hop on through. Now, the reason we're here is that the endermans at this update spawns with a block in their hand, which they eventually place, right? But that block could be one out of every single block in the game. So if we're lucky enough, we could eventually get most of the unobtainable blocks we want. And while we're waiting for the endermans to place all the blocks, let's build a little safe hole. Now, while building this hole, I also kept having to get rid of all the water from the surface, since the endermans keep placing waterlogged blocks. But since it has now been a little while, let's go looking for blocks. Okay, there's a repeating and chain command block. But to pick them up, we just have to place down a dropper and a button. And while the blocks are in a floating state, we can now pick them up and bring them back to our base. So let's quickly just repeat that for all of the blocks. Any second now? Finally! And now we lastly just need a bunch of buttons to fulfill this contraption I've been working on. And it's actually pretty simple. I just grab a piece of wood and throw it on a crafting table. So to now successfully transfer all of the blocks back to the main world, I first have to throw this head on my head. And after I've thrown this head on my head, I just have to head down to the cave. And if we now just press all of these buttons to get the blocks to enter the floating state, and then replace the end in my world with this the end, they should all be dropped on the ground in my main world. And it seems like all of the blocks transferred successfully, except for all of the 4 different structure blocks, which did just turn into 1. But that's totally fine. So let's go and place them down. It's not working. Maybe with a dropper. Yeah, I think we might have to put them on an item frame. But let's put out the ones we can put out, so the bedrock and the spawner. And now for the rest of them. Now before we place the last one down, I just want to quickly place down some villagers, armor stands with skulls on them, so I then can make a literal human. So we might as well just get all of these 5 out of the way. But moving rapidly on, I want to get a reinforced deep slate, which can't be obtained. But if I head to a deep dark experimental snapshot and head to the ancient city and place a piston behind the deep slate, I can move it. Yeah, you can probably see where this is heading. But instead of just continuously pushing it all the way there, I'm going to be using a flying machine. Yeah, this is way better. And there's the house. So I think we can move it manually for the last bit. And there we go. We have now basically obtained the reinforced deep slate in Minecraft Hardcore. Now let's quickly get back to our version. And it's gonna get interesting. Because I'm going to be getting a block that has only been obtained 5 times in Minecraft Hardcore. But before then, I'm going to create floating water and lava. But to be able to do that, we need to place down the dragon egg, amethyst, block and crystal, and a pillager banner. So to now create the floating water and lava, we quite literally just have to place them down normally. Is what it looks like, because it's actually just an illusion. Because I actually use barrier blocks, which I got from a previous video. And since the barrier block is also a rare block, let's go ahead and place it down. And to fill up this last spot, I'm going to be using boats. Why, you may ask? I don't know, it looks cool. And I don't know why Minecraft have made it so hard to stack boats, but it's so hard. Anyways, that looks pretty good. So we can now check off all of the boats and move on to the rarest block in Minecraft, which I'm going to be using to build the puffs with. And it's a snowy grass block. And it's rare because it isn't even a block. But if we head to the infinite dimension snapshot and quickly gear up, oh my god. And then throw a book with the word Skygrid inside of it into another portal. It will take me to a dimension that has every single block in the game. So if I then just go through thousands of blocks until I locate a snowy grass block, and then just transfer the chunk over to a one block at a time world, in which I can then pick it up. And I know that it may look like a normal puzzle block for now, but if I then go ahead and transfer the block to my main world, and yeah, I might have gone ahead and duped it a bit. So if we now take these out and place them, you can see that this is indeed a snowy grass block. So all we gotta do now is to finally place them down. Yeah, this is starting to look quite over the top. It looks sick. And now the last touch we gotta add is obviously the roof, which is going to be made out of end portal frames, which I've already obtained in a previous video. So let's, for the final time, build the roof. So with every single block gathered and the village constructed, I can now say with confidence that not everything needs changing. The reason the village has been in the game for so long is because of the nostalgic feeling that gets brought back from it. And that can only stay the same as long as the village doesn't change.